line up courtside, you know what time it is. It's
Sports plus life. Sports plus life.
ringside or front court or field pass, we ballin' no. Knuckle up or buckle up, I tell it like it is when I'm on my show. Home run, slam dunk, knockout, or gossip though.
Sports plus life.
Yeah.
Sports plus life. Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's really good? It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns, host of that show called Sports Plus Life. You feel me? Oh, this is Can't Miss Today. You know what's going down. So guess what? Guess what? Turn it off, turn it off, turn it all the way off. Cut the goddamn music, boy. This gonna be a show today. This is going to be a show today. Oh, my goodness. Please allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Brandon Brevon Towns, and this here is Sports Plus Life, that there sports podcast where we talk about all of the necessary topics in sports and all of the necessary topics in life. And, oh, man, you know what? I'm doing this a day later than usual because I've been moving. I've been moving all weekend, but first of all, I hope everybody is having a beautiful day. I hope everybody is safe, wonderful. Weather's nice, sun is out. You know, we had a little ice storm on Sunday, but by the time yesterday was over with, MLK Day, happy belated MLK Day. Look like ain't nothing ever happened. You feel me? It looked like nothing ain't never happened. Like I said, the snow is out. Ground's a little bit muddy, but it is what it is, man. Today is Tuesday, January the 18th, 2022. Oh, man. Yo, check this out. My daughter's birthday is in 1 week from today. My little baby girl will be turning 6 years old. My little princess. But I hope everybody, you know, I'm going to send my shout outs. Everybody in my black and gold fam, everybody in my fan period. I hope everybody is doing wonderful. Let's keep the love bombs going. I haven't been on Facebook like talking about it. Like I said, I've been really busy, but still I want to send shout outs to everybody. Keep them love bombs going. My HS fam, my black and gold fam, I love you all. Special shout out definitely to my brother and sister from another mother and another mister, Rob and Heather of Redford, you know, for coming out and looking out for me yesterday, you know what I'm saying, helping me with these beds to make sure that these kids was good, you know what I'm saying, at the new spot. Love you guys, man, and our kids had such a good time. Our kids love each other, man, so we definitely can't wait to get up with you guys again, because we did. I mean, them kids had a ball. They had a good time while me and Rob was, you know, handling business, hooking stuff up, and yes, thank you again. I love you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, you guys know, like I said, I knew that the chances of me doing the podcast on Monday was slim to none just because I was just finishing up, you know, everything as far as moving into my new crib, which I'm about to get into. But if you thought that I was going to miss a podcast on this week, given the circumstances of what happened Sunday, oh, you must be out your damn mind. You must be out your goddamn mind. Oh, boy. I had my boy Keith hitting me up saying, man, I can't wait for the podcast. I just sent the laugh emojis. I hit up Tony. I said yesterday, I'm moving, so probably won't be able to hit you up today, but don't worry. Your ass is mine. But anyway, before I get into all that jazz, yes, I have moved. I'm in a new spot. It's a definite change for my life. It's a change in my life. Definite new direction, a necessary new direction, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm happy as hell. I really am. I'm happy because it's just something that needed to happen. You know, not trying to put everything out there or say, you know, that anybody's a bad person or something like that. No, it's just time. It's just time to move in a different direction. This is something that I tried to pride myself on 3 years ago, and I said so on the show 3 years ago that, you know, I was trying to, you know, change direction, just with being more consistent, like with more consistent happiness instead of consistent inconsistencies. If you feel what I'm saying. And you know, I just I put my gloves on and went back at it again with the situation. And the situation I'm talking about is my marriage. And it it was time to move in another direction. I mean, look, one thing, and I'm going to give y'all a little relationship talk right now. I'm giving y'all a little relationship talk. When you are, when you're committed, when you have a significant other and you guys are committed, y'all have to be on the same page. You have to be on the same page. Otherwise, it simply is not going to work. And you have to be on the same page about pretty much everything, in particular finances. Like that will F a relationship up so quick if you're not on the same page as far as finances, and once you get off that page, and all of the other stuff will snowball. Everything will start snowballing. And at this point in my life, I'm in a headspace that I honestly wish that I was in 10 years ago, but better late than never. Because the only thing that I'm worried about now is just getting the right place for my kids. And getting the right place for my children. That's where my headspace is at. Now, I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm definitely going to enjoy my life and enjoy it more than I've done over the last few years. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you straight up, like when you have relationship issues, your life will feel miserable. Like I got my own movies. I've been married for almost 12 years. I got my own movie. I got my own version of 12 Years a Slave, and it's called Marriage, nigga. Okay, I'm dead serious, and I'm not down talking marriage to anybody. But like I said, if you and your significant other are not on the same page, y'all are not connecting the same dots, or if you two are in totally different universes, if your priority is one thing and then your significant other priority is another thing, that's going to be a serious problem. And this is a move that I am just so excited about, because I'm going to be honest with you. Ever since my father, God rest his soul, closed his eyes 8 years ago in January of 2014, my life has been a roller coaster. It hasn't been steady. It's been like the goddamn anaconda at King's Dominion. I'm so serious. I needed to be like the lazy river at Water Country, USA. Not saying I want to live a lazy life, but I need it to be steady. And it's been such a roller coaster. The Lord has blessed me with 2 beautiful children, and that is my priority. And as soon as I got my keys, I just came in here. I sat on the steps. I just said a prayer. Just God bless this house. God bless God bless this situation. God bless this family. God bless my kids, and please, God bless my wife. I'm for real, because I'm not that type of person where I want to, point fingers and be like, ha ha, see it, told you. No, I want everybody to succeed from this situation. I want everybody to succeed and grow and be happy. That's the most important thing. I just want everybody in this situation to be happy. And the thing that has honestly touched my heart the most is that, my kids, when we were here last night, my kids were so happy. My kids are so happy. And that honestly, like all jokes aside, that really touches my heart, that my children are genuinely happy when they're here with their dad. And I don't have much. There's still a lot of things that I need to get. Come on, taxes. Like straight up. There's still a lot of things that I need to get, but I got enough. Hey, look, my kids have beds to sleep on. They have clothes over here. There's food in the freezer. There's food in the cabinets. I got my internet and phone. I got my internet and cable. So we're good. We're good over here. And so, like I said, as far as that relationship talk goes, y'all got to be on one accord. You got to be. Real talk. And life, nobody's perfect. Nobody is perfect, and people are going to screw up. People are going to screw up in life. It's going to happen. And whether it's a relationship, whether it's a friendship, whatever, people are going to screw up. But it's how you grow from it. That's the determining factor. It's how you respond to adversity, because life is going to knock you down. It's how much faith do you really have? People talk about having faith all of the time, but when times get tough, they start to question that faith. Well, when times get tough, if you question faith, then how faithful are you, or how much faith do you really have? Because life is going to knock you on your ass at some point. It's going to happen. How do you respond to adversity? I'm going to tell you something. 4 years ago, I was in a dark place. I was in a really, really dark place from a situation that had happened. Now, but when this happened, I didn't question God. I didn't stray away from my faith. I moved closer to it. I did. I moved closer to it because at that point in time in my life, the only thing I could say was, Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, please take the wheel, because I can't figure this thing called life out by myself. And too often I had tried to figure it out by myself, and I just simply could not do that anymore. And it's all led up to this situation here. And regardless, very blessed. I'm very blessed. My children are very blessed. Even my wife is still very blessed. You know, I'm just keeping it 100. But this is a move that needed to be made. It definitely needed to be made. And like I said, I'm happy. That's how you know. And in relationships, that's how you know it's a wrap. You know it's a wrap when you ain't even you care about your significant other. I mean, well, at least if you're trying to go out on, cordial terms, you know. But when it doesn't even hurt, when it doesn't even bother you, as far as, you know, the going your separate ways, when it stops hurting, it's a wrap. That means you're done. That means you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to preach. I'm not even trying to teach. I'm just trying to speak my mind. I'm just speaking my mind. I don't know if this is a testimony or not, but I will say this. No matter what, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. And forgive me, because you know I'm going to use some more choice language, but that's me giving my testimony. You feel me? Now, without further ado, my people, let's get to it. Bruh. The NFL playoffs kicked off on Saturday evening, and I'm going to tell you what, there are some people who are probably particularly unhappy now. Matter of fact, there's no probably to it. There are some people who are very, very unhappy. One specific fan base, but I'll save that for later. Anyway, I tell you what, the first game was the Cincinnati Bengals against the Las Vegas Raiders, and for the first time in 31 years, for the first time since 1991, the Cincinnati Bengals have finally broken the curse of Bo Jackson, oddly enough, against the Raiders, and they defeated the Las Vegas Raiders 26-19 with an interception at the end of the game. And I'm going to tell you something. First of all, before I get into the Bengals, let me show my proper respect to the Raiders. Given everything that this team has gone through just in the past 2.5 months alone, between John Gruden, Henry Ruggs, got another defensive player getting arrested on DUI, they showed grit. Just them making the playoffs was kind of phenomenal, because, you know, you didn't see it coming, because, like I said, I expected the Raiders to be in full downward spiral mode by the time right after Thanksgiving. And they proved me wrong. And this playoff game, while it looked like, especially if you watch the first half, it looked like if you would have thought that Cincinnati would have been up by 2 or 3 touchdowns, they were only up by 7. You wouldn't have thought that game would have come down to the last seconds, and on a 4th and goal, Derek Carr throwing an interception. You wouldn't have thought it would have got that far. But the Raiders showed the grit and grind that got them into the playoffs. They were able to fend off all the adversity, just like they've done with all the things that happened off of the football field. and they gave it a good run. I'm not being funny, even though I'm a Broncos fan. They have my utmost respect. Now, as for the Cincinnati Bengals, ending that 31-year curse, the curse of Bo Jackson, and they get over the hump. Joe Burrow. Now, there was a controversial call in regards to Joe Burrow's touchdown pass to Tyler Boyd. The officials thought he stepped out of bounds. The whistle, you could clearly hear it as you saw players start to stop. No coincidence there that Jerome Boger's crew is not going to be doing another game during the playoffs. But you know what? It is what it is. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. Them boys going to be hard to deal with. They're going to be hard to deal with. This is the first time, like I said, I was 7 years old the last time the Bengals won a playoff game. 7. I don't even really remember it, to tell you the truth. But this is one of them teams that's they're young and they're hard-headed. And by that I mean they don't realize that they're not supposed to be this good this fast. And they are going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem for the Tennessee Titans. The next game on Saturday night, the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. I picked the Patriots to win this game. Man, was I wrong. The Buffalo Bills beat the dog fuck out the Patriots. 47-17. I know, right? They scored on every single possession they had. 7 touchdowns. 7 against Bill Belichick's defense. The only thing that they didn't do good was kick extra points. That's it. It's the only thing they didn't do good. And I really did not expect that. And Josh Allen looked like he had some rocket boosters in them feet because he looked fast. I mean, I know he's big and strong, kind of like, young Roethlisberger, just a little bit faster, but dude looked fast when he was running. I know he's not slow, but dude looked faster than normal. And the Buffalo Bills, those matchups with New England was personal. And it's crazy because Sean McDermott sounded really salty after that first loss in New England, the one in Buffalo where it was like the wind was crazy and Mac Jones only threw 3 passes. He was like, don't give Belichick more credit than he deserves after that first game. Well, they've seen him twice since then, and they've dogged their ass both times since then. So, I mean, shout out to the Patriots because, one, they had a rookie quarterback. I thought Belichick's hold my beer season was going to go on a little bit longer. But Buffalo is the superior team. Tony was right about that. Buffalo is a superior team, and maybe there is a changing of the guard. There really is a true changing of the guard in the AFC East. But New England will still be formidable. But Buffalo, man, they look like that team who everybody thought that they were going to be at the beginning of the season. On the Sunday's games, my Philadelphia Eagles, we know I'm a Broncos fan, but I love them Eagles. The Eagles, they fell flat on their face in Tampa Bay. The defending Super Bowl champion Buccaneers handled their business. They were up 31-0 in the fourth quarter, ended up winning by a score of 31-15. To me, the knockout punch in that game was that Jalen Reagor fumble on the punt return. Because it was 17-0, but the previous 3 or 4 drives for Tampa Bay, the Eagles defense had figured something out. I know that their right tackle Worth had gotten hurt, but Ryan Kerrigan was getting off. He was having a day. They hit Tom Brady. They really hit Tom Brady. Their front four was getting to them, and I felt like the game was about to turn because at halftime I was trying to call Sean saying, yo, bro, this game about to get real, because at the end of the first half, the Eagles defense had finally started getting to him. And then that punt return that Reagor fumbled, that was the knockout punch, because after that, Tampa scored a couple more touchdowns, and, Jalen Hurts didn't play great, but I still, my man Keith texted me and said Jalen Hurts is trash. No, he's not. Young quarterback, first ever playoff game. You weren't even supposed to be there. So, I have to give, again, shout out to Philadelphia, Nick Sirianni. Nobody thought that the Eagles were going to make the playoffs. When I saw those first interviews, I'm thinking this dude's a doofus. So, you just have to get more parts. Me and Sean talked about this. They feels that they need some more defense, linebackers. another wide receiver to go along with Devontae Smith, and Jalen Hurts has to improve with his throwing of the football, but I would not move off of him. I wouldn't even think about it. I'm going to skip the 4:30 game because I'm going to save that for last. I said that now the Sunday night game, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers, I said I thought the Chiefs were going to smoke the Steelers, and that's exactly what happened. They smoked them 42-21, and it's crazy because the first touchdown was scored by T.J. Watt, or it was a defensive touchdown, and then the Chiefs just went ballistic. They went ballistic, and yeah, that game went exactly how I thought it was going to go. I mean, I thought Pittsburgh's another team where you like Mike Tomlin, you just have to take your hats off to him. I'm like, I wouldn't be mad if he got coach of the year, because especially now in this NFL climate where he's the last black head coach standing and he's an all-time great. Doesn't that say something about our people? How much we have to prove in those professional ranks? We have to be an all-time great for one of us to maintain a steady job. That's some bullshit, but I'll get in that another day, another time. Maybe when Tony gets on the phone, when he gets finished crying. But Big Ben, last game, great career, 2-time Super Bowl champion, 3 Super Bowl appearances, and I'm interested to see what the Steelers' succession plan is, because that's the one thing that I've gotten on Tomlin about, is that there has not appeared to be a succession plan for Ben Roethlisberger. So the Chiefs move on 42-21. The Los Angeles Rams last night on Monday Night Football beat down the Arizona Cardinals. And I called the Rams to win, but they smoked the Cardinals. I didn't see that coming. Like Kyler Murray looked over his head. But in the meantime, the Rams stars were stars. Matthew Stafford was a star. Odell Beckham, remember everybody thought he was washed when he left Cleveland? Odell Beckham was a star. Von Miller, who they got from my Broncos, was a star. And what happened is the Rams handled their business. They jumped out 28-0. Well, it was 28-0 in the third quarter. And they dismantled the Arizona Cardinals. And, we got some major league matchups heading up. But oh boy, y'all already knew it was coming. You already knew it was coming. I said this last week on the podcast, when I was hearing all of that hoostafudge and garbage and BS from Cowboys fans because they put up 50 some odd points on the Philadelphia Eagles when the Eagles had their second and third string units in the game because they had nothing to play for. And I said, man, I sure can't wait till their season come to an end next week. Of course, my compadre who comes over here and he, comes on the show and he says, what did he say he's going to do? He said he's going to grind me into dust after what happens with the 49ers Cowboy games. Grind me into what? Because the San Francisco 49ers did what me and many other people thought they would do. They went to Dallas and they beat the Cowboys, ending their season 23-17. The Dallas Cowboys won and done, like I had been saying since about the beginning of October. One and done. And the only reason why the game wasn't a complete blowout is because in the fourth quarter, Jimmy Garoppolo wanted to turn into Jimmy Garflopolo. He started doing Jimmy G things, which is one reason why they didn't win the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Because the 49ers were dominant. Through 3 quarters, the score was 23-7, and the game really didn't even seem that close. The 49ers were dominating the Cowboys. And my homeboy Eddie came over on Friday night, big Cowboys fan, and I told him, I said, bro, y'all gonna lose. He didn't want to believe it. He wasn't talking shit or nothing like that. He was just being optimistic, which I don't have a problem with that. I mean, from any fan. But I told him, I said, bro, this is what's going to happen. I told him exactly how the Cowboys were going to lose. And that's exactly how the Cowboys lost. I said, San Francisco is going to get out to a 2-possession lead. I said, y'all going to be off y'all game. I said, y'all will come back to make it interesting at the end. I said, but the end result, y'all going to lose. And that's what happened. They ran a quarterback draw with 14 seconds left, and Dak was in the center of the field. Now, here's the worst part. First of all, he slides. He gets up and gives the ball to the center. If you know the rules, dumb, you give the ball to the referee. Then, of course, they're not able to spike it in time, And they already look bad because of that. Dak already looked bad for the way he performed throughout the game. Then he's going to go to the press conference and blame the referees. And going to condone the fans throwing trash at the referees. So you already played bad, so you look bad enough doing that. Then you're going to condone your fans doing some bullshit, which makes you look even worse. Boy, y'all sorry excuse. Every year. Y'all sorry. Y'all suck. Like I said, one and done. You want to sit here and brag about going undefeated in the NFC East. It wasn't just Tony. I heard that from a couple other Cowboys fans. Oh, we went undefeated in the NFC East this year. Good for you. So what? The NFC East teams were garbage with the exception of Philadelphia. Now, they came out of nowhere to surprise people to go to the playoffs. But the two times you faced the Eagles, first, what was it, week 3? They didn't have an identity. They didn't know what their identity was. And then the last game of the season, they had already clinched the playoff spot. They had no point. There was no point for them to play anybody. They had no control over where they were seated. They just knew they were in, and they gave their starters a bye week. Washington and New York stinks. They stink. They stunk all year. Well, Washington, I guess up to Washington was 6-6 at one point. Then Washington turned to who I thought they were. So going 6-0 in the NFC East, good for you. So what? Outside the NFC East, bruh. And this is what I said to Tony. You lose when you play playoff teams. You are 6-5 outside of this division. 6-5 outside of the NFC East, which means you were a tick above average. Every time you played a team with a winning record, a team that you knew without a shadow of a doubt was going to be in the playoffs, and the only two teams that you lost to that didn't make the playoffs were the Chargers and the Broncos. Well, no, you beat the Chargers, were the Broncos. The only team that you lost to that didn't make the playoffs was the Broncos. But when you played the Raiders, you lost. When you played the Chiefs, you lost. When you played the Cardinals, you lost. When you played the Bucks, you lost. When you step up in competition, you fall flat on your fucking face. This is why I laugh at these Cowboy fans religiously, because they get on there and they pump their chest like you score 50 some odd points when you have your starters playing their second and third string, and you actually sitting there bragging about that. And then what happens? As soon as you take a step up in competition, use a dummy. I bet Cowboy fans are pissed at the Rams today. I bet they are mad at the Rams today because you saw how the Rams looked. You saw how the Cardinals looked. And then you had to deal with the 49ers all because the Rams couldn't hold a 17-point lead to the 49ers. Boy, I know Cowboy fans are mad at the Rams today, especially given the way that the Rams looked yesterday. I told you. All of this nonsense about we got the we're number one in takeaways. We have the number one offense. So what? You know, a team that has finished the league number one in offense and number one in points scored hasn't won a Super Bowl since 2009. So just because you have the number one offense doesn't mean that you're a shoo-in to at least most of those teams, I guarantee you, won a playoff game. Dallas couldn't even do that. Man, I tell you, and I don't know why Cowboy fans look so surprised, because you do this every time. I mean, look, for the last 15 years, your bitch asses have put out probably the most talented squad in football for 15 years. And what does it get you? Nothing. It gets you nothing. Not even a berth in a conference championship game. You sorry motherfuckers. And I'm saying this to y'all bitch-ass fan base, which is the most annoying bitch-ass fan base in professional sports. No, I'm not trying to be on my Stephen A. I've always hated the goddamn Cowboys. Since I was a little wee boy. I've never been able to stand that dumbass star on them dumbass helmets. I have respect for the 90s Cowboys because they were champions. I didn't like them, but they were champions and I respected. These fans now have gotten worse as the Cowboys have gotten worse. Oh my goodness. I told y'all. And I told you, I said particularly if they play an NFC West team, they are going home in round one. I said that the entire season. I said be it the Cardinals, the Rams. I know for sure during the whole season whether the 49ers were going to get in the playoffs. But when the 49ers got hot, I said if they see the Cowboys, they'll beat them too. I said the 49ers will beat them. I said it. I did. You know, and yes, I will give myself a pat on the back for that because it's like, bruh, some people just don't fucking listen. they don't listen. The ego, the arrogance just clouds their better judgment from a team that has done absolutely nothing in 26 years.
Settle down just a little bit.
They continue to get the headlines. They continue to get the publicity. They continue to get all of the attention that they do not deserve. Okay, you went to the playoffs. So what? Good for you. Good for you. You went to playoff. Well, you went to the playoffs by winning the division that everybody still thinks is the weakest division in football. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say the NFC East was the weakest division in football this season because when you have two teams from a division go to the playoffs. Now you're not the weakest. Sorry, you're not the weakest division in football. But be that as it may, you still were one and done. Like I knew you would. 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 You sorry sacks of shit. And like I said, what makes it worse is that press conference and them trying to blame the referees. So it's the referee's fault your punk asses fell down 23-7. It was the referee's fault that Dak's throwing an interception. Yeah, that's all the referee's fault, right? Sorry. Yeah, they deserve everything, all the criticism that they get. Because they really don't deserve all the attention that they get because they haven't won anything. I don't give a damn about the finance. I really don't care about none of that. With me, it's wins and losses. What have you done for me lately? And the Dallas Cowboys have not done shit since 1995. It is 2022. And not even so much as a conference championship game appearance.
You suck.
I don't give a damn about, well, they make the money for the league. It's about wins and losses for me, god damn it.
Release the hounds.
Okay? Boy, let me get Tony on the line. And now I got him on the line. You know what? I told him yesterday while I was moving. I said I probably won't be able to call you today because I'm moving. I said, but don't worry, your ass is mine. What's happening, brother?
What is going on? And y'all, I have no clue what he's talking about. My ass is his. That's some old Fleece Johnson. I like it and I won't shit. I don't know what he's talking about, but let's have at it.
Oh, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what? I'm not even going to this is the only thing I'm going to say. I told you. One and done. Floor is yours, sir. Air your grievances out.
Well, I'm going to say this, right? Your predictions ain't all because your prediction had the Broncos playing one of these playoff games. But
yeah, so was yours.
Work out. So what I'll say is exactly what I said before on, I think on a previous podcast. Or maybe we weren't on a podcast. The irrational hate team, do people cease caring about their team winning or losing as long as Dallas lose. That's all that really matters. But I wanted to see the narrative because just in general, and I'll get to this overall. And I was actually saying it to a friend of mine. No matter who came on top between the Rams and the Cardinals, it would not be the Rams losing or the Cardinals losing would not be viewed in the same light. It would not be viewed as underachieving or.
Oh no! Hold on. Time out. If the Rams had lost yesterday, they would have gotten smoked, just as bad as y'all. Because I'm probably worse. Because they were asking the question all last week: who has the most pressure on them to win this past weekend? And the universal answer was Matthew Stafford. Because the whole season, now not me and you, but most people have blamed Detroit for his 0-3 playoff record. And I've always been under the impression, well, if you're that dude, then Detroit, no matter where you're playing at, should make a damn difference, because a couple of those playoff teams he was on with Detroit was very talented. In particular, the team that lost to y'all in 2014. That was the best. That was a very talented Lions team. And for Sean McVay to trade away a #1 draft pick who had gotten you to the Super Bowl, if they had went one and done in the playoffs, oh, they would have been eviscerated. I think beyond Dallas. Particularly, honestly, because that means that your trade, for all intents and purposes, was a bust this year. Not just Matthew Stafford. You go out and you get Von Miller during the season. You get Odell Beckham during the season. You show no doubt that you're all in to win the Super Bowl this year. And you brought in Matthew Stafford because you thought he was a better fit than Jared Goff, a quarterback who had taken you to the Super Bowl. Oh, no. Now, if the Cardinals lose, okay, Kyler Murray, rookie Cliff Kingsbury, first time coaching in the postseason game. Kyler Murray, first time playing in a postseason game. No DeAndre Hopkins. Ain't nobody going to kill them for it. At least not Kyler Murray, even though he played pathetic last night. But the Rams, oh no. There's no way in hell they could. There's no way in hell they would have gotten away with it if they had lost last night. Now, if they lose to the Buccaneers, ain't nobody gonna fault them for it because it's Tom Brady, they the defending champions, yada, yada, yada. You know how that story goes. But it's no way in hell that the Rams could have gotten away with being one and done. Now, floor is yours. I'm sorry.
Well, as I text you, my prediction ultimately came true. I said Mike McCarthy was going to end up costing us at some point. And my belief with anything on a team, it starts at the top, starts with the coach and works his way down, matriculate, because the coach got a lot of latitude, you know, on both sides of the ball in calling a game or how a team performs. Being last in the league in penalties always was something that was hanging over our head. And, you know, what was the final tally? One tally said it was 14, another tally said it was 17 penalties.
Yep.
That we incurred. And it wasn't about so much about the penalty, it was when the penalties.
Oh, yeah. Randy Gregory had a horrible game.
We got 3rd and 5. Oh, let me hold so we can make it 3rd and 20. You know, we get the 30-yard pass, first down. Oh, let me, you know, do that. Let me hold so we can negate that.
I told you.
We got them. We got the 49ers twice on 3rd down. We got them. But let me throw some hands to the face. Let me jump pre-snap so I can, you know.
You're right.
And get it back 5 yards. None of that made any sense. See, people wanted to look at just the end of that game and say, well, what were they doing? Well, that was a debacle, the end of the game. But people forget the 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 3 timeouts that we had.
That y'all used.
And there's something else that's actually inexplicable to me, and only Jerry Jones can answer this. This is the only fault I put in Jerry's hands with this. So you build the stadium, and you got to go on east to west where the sun rises and the sun sets. You think that it's an advantage to these other teams, a disadvantage for these other teams playing into the sun, but it's a disadvantage for your own team. And that was clear. Cedric Wilson dropped 2 balls looking at
He sure did. And when they showed the camera angle of that sun, I can understand why he dropped it, but yeah.
And I'm like, those are game-changing, you know, plays. And I don't get it. Then, but back to the McCarthy thing. Okay, so now we know Zeke had a jacked up PCL. Why? You only Pollard 4 touches the whole game. I don't understand. Explain why that was. There's so many different things that I legit just don't get. What were they attempting to do? Or, you know, maybe you outthink yourself and go in the playoffs and change your game plan. I'm not sure. But to abandon the run 100%, like, I don't get it. Then we'll talk about drop balls because they didn't help Dak and CD Lamb. You in a hurry-up offense. That's the thing. You in a hurry-up offense, but you walk out as a wideout. You walk out to your position. Take your time, you know. Get it out there. He had done nothing up to that point in the game. Seemed to me you'd be awfully eager to get out there and maybe catch some balls and get involved in the game. So it is a total team failure. I don't think anybody short of the punter. Maybe Brian Anger showed up to play. And that's just the reality of it. That's just the reality of it.
You done?
Am I done? Yes. Yeah.
Well, look.
That's about it. Because in the big picture, in the grand scheme of things, the game was there. The game was there to be had. You know,
the only reason why the game was there to be had is because in the fourth quarter, Jimmy Garoppolo turned into Jimmy Garflopolo, because y'all was getting y'all asses handed to y'all for 3 quarters. And then Garoppolo started making dumb throws.
The reason why we were down was everything that I just said. Literally, everything. But
dude, let me
put us in the hole.
Dude, you know what?
Trying to dig your way out of that hole against a running team, a clock controlling team, is going to be difficult anyway. But you know, I mean,
you want to know something funny? You want to know something funny? Is that my homeboy Eddie, who's a Cowboys fan just like you. He came to my crib Friday, dropped the bed frame off. He's the one I had we were just talking off wax. Dropped the bed frame off. He's a Cowboy fan, started talking about the game. And I told him, not in a taunting manner, I'm just talking to him. I said, bro, I'm not trying to be funny, but you guys are going to lose this game. And he said, all right, man, whatever. You just hate the Cowboys. I said, you know what? Yes, I do. You know, want to label me a Cowboy troll? I don't give a fuck. I will own it. But I said, this is why. I said, I'm not trying to troll. I said, I'm being honest. And I told him exactly how that game would go. And I named every single point that you just named. Every single point. I told him that you guys would come out flat. Y'all would fall behind by double digits. Your game plan would be screwed up. And again, about your defense, as far as your defense is concerned, they were undisciplined, and I said this all season, I said you have an opportunistic defense. Now, I know Michael Parsons got a little banged up, but he came back to play. He was invisible. Randy Gregory had a horrible day. Where the hell was DeMarcus Lawrence? Let me tell you something. Trayvon Diggs, if Jimmy Garoppolo hadn't turned into Garflopolo, would have gotten burnt for a touchdown.
Wait a minute. Going back to the Michael Parsons was not invisible the game. He actually had to play his position because Mr. Keanu Neal, Mr. I want to miss half the season because of COVID twice.
How many impact plays did Michael Parsons have?
We play linebacker because it was just Van Der Esch.
How many impact plays did Micah Parsons have?
Huh?
How many impact plays did Micah Parsons have?
Actually, he had a number of impact plays. He's one of the few people that actually made the tackles on Debo. He's one of the few.
Oh, Debo. Oh, that hybrid. I apologize to you, Debo. I said that Robert Woods was the best at taking carries and catching passes. I am so sorry. I apologize to you once before. I'm just going to reiterate it.
But again, that goes to the whole coaching dynamic, undisciplined, over pursuit. Stay where you are. He's going to cut back.
Well, I told you that.
This, it seems, except for and I'm sure Quinn knew it, but everyone knows it except for some reason, our defensive players, but they over pursuit.
Well, dude, you know what? I don't care if it was coaching reasons. I don't care if it was player reasons, because you know what? It ain't Mike McCarthy's fault that when Dak slides at the end of the game, he gives the center the ball, not the damn referee. That's not him knowing the rules. And I'm so happy that you're not one of those Cowboy fans that's pointing to that specific play and blaming that as why you lost. You're better than that. You're better than that. You're better than that.
3 timeouts and over 2 minutes, you had no reason to rush a play into the 2-minute warning. That's the first thing. You had literally no reason to rush a play before the 2-minute warning. And it was a net negative play. It literally, it net negative play. You keep slamming it up that middle, and Biotish, the whole season hasn't proven that he can block the middle confidently, but you're going to keep slamming it up in there. on the edge. He didn't try to run on the edge. Why? I have no clue. Like, that's what I'm saying. Pollard, you get 4 touches from Pollard, something ain't right. But in your game plan. You know what I'm saying? Because he's your scat back. All season, you see that dude on the field. He gets damn near, if not close. I mean, I would say he gets about 60% of the touches or more that Zeke gets. But you're going to not use him at all? Not even in the passing game? I don't understand. He's slow developing. I got to hit a home run play. I just don't get it. But it is what it is. That's the reason why I'm not a fan. If Kellen Moore leaves, I'm okay with it. And if Joe Philbin leaves, I'm okay with it. Because, again, offensive player is Connor Williams again. Get 32-yard completion on third down. Oh, no. I got a hold. So, no. If nothing else, even if nothing else, you can feel the discipline, penalty-free. You're going to get penalties, but come on, man. The penalties on mental errors, on just dumb shit, that goes to discipline, and that's it. So there's no excuse. Like, they came out flat, and this is what happens when you get down and you're forced to play one-dimensionally. You're playing into it.
And here's the problem. Here's the problem, because you're able, just because you acknowledge that, which I know you're not one of those. Well, you have your moments of truly delusional Cowboy fandom, but you know what? I'll let that go today, because you've been objective in this L, but this is the thing that strikes me. You guys have no home field advantage. You don't.
That's true with a number of teams, though.
Yeah, but more or less so for y'all, because you know why? Because of the attention that you guys bring upon yourselves. As far
attention, we play football just like every other team.
No. You guys are the only. No. Hold on. Time out. You guys owner, if anything, put you guys on Front Street more than any other owner does in the NFL. So playing in wait a minute. He's the one. Listen, he's the one that does a weekly radio show that's broadcasted on every major sports talk show in America. No other owner. You don't hear any other owner's voice on a weekly basis. Now, if it's just a local radio show, fine.
What radio show is this? That's broadcast nationally, but everybody.
No. It's a local radio show, but you know everything that Jerry Jones says gets brought to light because he likes it that way.
Come on now, stop it.
No, I'm not. No. Listen. The Dallas playing in Dallas in the NFL circles. Playing in Dallas is the equivalent of playing in Hollywood or Madison Square Garden.
Okay, but again, that's not our fault. You just said nationally broadcasted this, and I just said we get Raiders Nation here, which is a nationally broadcast show.
I understand that, but this is what. But you're not following me where I'm going with this. You're not following me where I'm going with this. Okay. Now, I don't believe in the Lambeau mystique the way I used to when Brett Favre was playing in his early days. Or beyond, I wasn't there. I wasn't alive for that. But Lambeau Field, at one point in time, was a real home field advantage. Texas Stadium, even with Aikman, Emmett, and Irvin, at one point was a real home field advantage. Arrowhead Stadium, at one point, was a real home field advantage. Buffalo
Stadium at one point was a real home field.
But what I'm saying is, y'all don't have a real home field. You guys lose. Let me give you. Okay, I'll just sum it up like this. If this game was in San Francisco, I'd have picked y'all to win. If this game was in San Francisco, I would have picked y'all to win, because you guys lose at home on a regular basis in the playoffs, particularly over the last 26 years. No, matter of fact, I'll say that over the last 15 years that they're, because of the targets that you guys, I'm not going to say the players, but the target that is specifically painted on your back, because honestly, your fan base don't know how to shut the fuck up. For under accomplishment, the target that is painted on your back, when you guys host the playoff game, I will pick against you every single time because, one, Jerry wanted to make that place seem like it's the Globe Theater. Which, okay, fine, you getting your money, whatever.
You know what I compare your comparison to? And I ain't even trying to be funny at this point. I compared that comparison that analogy you just gave about quote-unquote cowboy fan base, because you know a handful of people. I compare it to the...
No, I know way more than a handful of people.
No, you know a handful of people in the grand scheme of things in terms of all the cowboy fans in the country. You know a handful of people, and that's what you go by. But I compare that to those pale people, how they feel about black people. This uppity nigga, they don't know when to shut their...
Oh, man, now you going to... Now, we talking sports now.
What you're saying is irrational. What you're saying is irrational.
No, but we talking sports. We ain't talking that.
No, I'll let you get that out. You talk to me.
You got it.
And if you talk to me. Now, you talk to me. You don't think there's, I don't know, 1,500, 1,000 other me's that view the same way and carry football sports the same way, just in general. But here's the trip part. Fans are gonna be fans. Steelers fans, you couldn't tell a Steelers fan that they wasn't gonna go in there and beat Kansas City because Big Ben, blah 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 blah. If you're not in support of your team, you're not a fan. Now, being unrealistic about your teams, we were a playoff team. You make the playoffs. You expected to perform in the playoffs. You don't always perform in the playoffs. Hence the fact that there's some teams sitting home right now. It's going to be some teams sitting home next week, and their fan base is going to be disappointed. And they talk junk all season. Maybe the people that they knew, maybe the people that they didn't know. That's fans. That's how it is. But to be a hater on the fans loving their team, that makes absolutely no sense.
I'm not a hater of the fans loving their teams. I'm a hater of delusional fans on teams that haven't done nothing forever and still talking ish.
You couldn't have told all season, if you ask the Saints fan or Eagles fan, for instance, we're going to beat Dallas. You know, we're going to make the playoffs. Before the season even started last season, what did you expect the fans to say? We suck?
Actually, I mean, if you want to be real about this, actually, the biggest Eagle fan I know will tell you exactly that. If that's what's on his mind.
If that's what's on his mind, but I go back to them Broncos. What was on your mind? Playoffs? Was it real?
Oh yes, it absolutely was.
Maybe not, but it didn't come to reality, so that makes you delusional then, right?
No, that doesn't make me delusional. No.
Bro, that makes you delusional. That makes you as delusional.
No, not when I'm calling at the beginning. Look, when I'm calling at the beginning of the season, I'm thinking that we'll make the playoffs. You thought we'd make the playoffs. That's not me being delusional. Now, when we're 7-6 and Teddy Bridgewater gets carted off on a stretcher, what did I say? I said, well, our season is over because Drew Lock is coming in. I wasn't delusional at all about that. When Teddy Bridgewater got hurt, we were in position to make the playoffs.
Not exactly. Around that point, you were saying, well, we still in this thing because such and such and such and such. Because
I said because Teddy, even though Teddy Bridgewater would frustrate me at times, when he got hurt, we were in position to have a wild card berth.
That's what I'm saying.
As soon as he got hurt.
But it was an extenuating circumstance that made you take that view. If it were not for him getting hurt, you would have maintained that until the end.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have been braggadocious about it. Because I never was braggadocious. Only time I was braggadocious about my team is when we beat y'all.
I can't be responsible for Timmy, Tommy, and this. When have I called you bragging about anything other than a single individual, Michael Parsons? When have I bragged to you about my team?
Dude, what did I just say to you? I said you have your moments of delusion. I said, but for the most part.
Maybe you were delusional thinking that Teddy Bridgewater was going to take you deep into the playoffs.
I didn't say deep. I said make the playoffs, because I said that because I've seen Teddy Bridgewater take a team to the playoffs. This is why I say you were delusional. This is why I say you were delusional.
To the playoffs and the Broncos been one and done because of Teddy Bridgewater's play.
Bro.
That's my point.
Bro.
Nobody can be dissected that way.
Bro. If you had told me that we would have made, hold on. This is why I said that you were delusional. Because all you were talking to me about, particularly last week, number one in takeaways, number one offense. What does that mean? It don't mean nothing.
It means a lot, but in the
No, it don't.
No, it actually does.
No, it don't.
Well, okay. For the sake of argument, right? When you look across the landscape of NFL history, the majority of teams that were in the top of takeaways were the most successful teams.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they win a Super Bowl.
It doesn't guarantee a Super Bowl.
Because let me spit a fact at you. The last time a team, like you would tell me about your number one offense, number one scoring offense, the last team that had the number one scoring offense and number one overall offense won the Super Bowl was 2009, the New Orleans Saints.
But that's offense. The Buffalo Bills prove you can have that number one offense and still lose Super Bowls. Defense.
And it's been even longer for a team that led the league in takeaways. Leading the league in takeaways and number one total defense are two totally different stats.
Okay, but again, even leading the league in takeaways, usually those teams go deep into the playoffs. You and I both know it.
Well, deep into the playoffs, yes.
Regardless of total defense.
Yes. But
regardless of total defense, because we just saw it. Maybe who was it? 4 or 5 years ago, it was a team in the Super Bowl that led the league on takeaways.
Hold on, let me think. 4 or 5 years ago in the Super Bowl.
They did not have the top defense.
Well, the Falcons. You're right. The Falcons led the league in takeaways.
Blew that game. They should have won it.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But guess what? They ain't the damn Cowboys.
Okay. like I said, it's irrational because if you talk to any fan, even midway through the season, like I said, you were susceptible to that. I didn't say nothing. You said if Teddy Bridgewater, if we can do this, okay, y'all still in it. That's what you feel.
Oh, you picked us to go to the playoffs.
Feeling on the Broncos at that point.
But you picked us to go to the playoffs too.
You're in it for what though? Because Teddy Bridgewater is not going to take you to a Super Bowl. He's not going to win you.
I never said, bro. At the beginning of the season, I picked the Kansas City Chiefs and the Green Bay Packers to go to the Super Bowl. I picked the Broncos to go to the playoffs. So did you.
Okay.
So I never picked the. I thought the Broncos would make the playoffs.
My point is simply put this: at what point does a fan, any fan of any team, of any sport, get the right to say I believe in my team without it being quote unquote braggadocious or?
Every fan should believe in their team. I'm just a fan of realism.
Delusional.
Every fan should believe in their team. I'm just a fan of realism. And like I said, but hold on. I said this all season long.
You picked those Super Bowl participants. You also picked the Giants to win the division.
You're absolutely right. I was wrong about. You picked the Detroit Lions to go to the damn playoffs.
I thought that was delusional. You thought the Lions, me having faith in the Lions was delusional. You see how easy we can do that?
And we both were delusional.
That's my point.
But what I'm saying is that, okay, yes, we both picked the Broncos to go to the playoffs.
The better analogy is not football. The better analogy is your Los Angeles Lakers because you you did it. You and I both know when they made the acquisitions of Westbrook, Carmelo. Oh yeah, guaranteed. It was a whole thing, but we might not even play. Might as well not even play the game.
Hold on, that didn't come from me.
I didn't say you.
Oh, I was getting ready to say.
Just like you didn't say me, but you see how easy that was? Because you know you read the same things that I read, you heard the same things that I heard.
Bro, that's why I rock with you because...
How was that shaping
But that's why I rock with you because... See, listen. Them talking heads on the major networks is trying to get views. We just keeping it 100. We keeping it a buck here. This Sports Plus life, baby. We keep it real. We keep it 100. We don't give a look. Fuck the dumb shit. And your Bulls are struggling, by the way. But we'll get into that later.
Because you have they are struggling because when you have 6 out of rotation, Zach Levine, you got Caruso out there, Derek Jones Jr. out, you got Devontae Green. We got a bunch of 10-day dudes. Literally, we got 5 10-day dudes playing against the Grizzlies. So that was never going to be a win. That was never playing against the Nets. Look, that never was going to be a win. You got a G League dude named Alfonso McKinney trying to guard Kevin Durant.
Hold on. I'm not switching to basketball just yet. So, but I was just going to your Lakers analogy because I never thought that this team was right. You remember I was on the show telling you that we got the 2K12, 2K13 All-Stars. They old. You told me the other team's gonna run us out the building. Well, you're right. And I agree with you then, and I agree with you now. But anyway.
What I will say in terms of my team and that I've been, because I can't speak for other Cowboys, nor do I speak for Cowboys Nation, because I think that if you go outside of your orbit or bubble, I think you'll find more people that think like me. There's been people that have been calling for Mike McCarthy to be fired since game 1 of this season.
Well, I don't think he should be fired.
No, but early on his decision making was really suspect in game. In-game clock management, these are things that are rearing their head at penalties. They're rearing their head at the end of the season, and they were consistent at the beginning of the season. You never improved. So you can have, on paper, an extremely talented team, and based on talent, just talent. Positional talent, all of the above. We can play with anybody. However, having the mental fortitude to go out there and actually put it out there on the field and stay disciplined is a whole different thing. So making the plays is a whole different thing. Some of it makes no sense. Some of it, I'm gonna tell you, this is how you know they changed the game plan. Just from a fan standpoint and an armchair coordinator. Okay. How many times through the season did you see CD Lamb line up in the backfield just like Debo? How many times did you see him in that game line?
I can only count. I can count on one hand.
You can count on more than one hand. That's a set. They got a set series of plays for CeeDee Lamb in that backfield. They didn't put him back there once. So again, I use that, and you look at Pollard, same thing. Yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, they decided to be smart, and it turned out really dumb. Instead of just playing your game, but like I said, it goes back to Kellen Moore is a young guy. He may eventually develop him, but he doesn't adjust well, and his game plans overall, he has no backup plan. If they take away one aspect, and y'all kind of
dude's only 29 years old.
One aspect of the offense, he doesn't know how to adjust.
You heard me? I said, dude's only 29 years old, 29, 30.
But there's no excuse. You're the coordinator.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
You know, we got 40-year-old head coaches. You know, a few years ago, they ain't 40 now, but they were 40 when they became head coach.
Well, Sean McVay ain't 40 yet. Zach Taylor ain't 40 yet.
Yeah, so they not struggling. They make adjustments. You know, it is what it is. So I don't know, but that is what that is.
I was going to say Sirianni. He ain't 40 yet. He ain't. Well, okay. Well, let's get in next week.
You might as well go 1-16 because ain't no moral victories.
Let's go ahead and get into the because I'm gonna be honest with the end result. You know, I don't care if it was coaching, playing. I say it one and done. God damn it, and one and done. But you know, it is what it is. Let's go into these next week's game. Well, okay, outside of the Cowboys 49ers game.
On the flip side, I'll say this in terms of the Cardinals. They because they're an example of what you're talking about, no home field advantage, because clearly they
suck at home.
Last night, I mean, they had one loss on the road. That makes 2 last night, all season.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, they're pretty terrible, but Kyler Murray being young, okay, fine. You want to go with that, fine. Where was the Cardinals' defense, though? They added a bunch of names, too, now.
Yeah, they did add a bunch of names, but here's the difference. He said, okay, you really hadn't heard much from Chandler Jones since week 1. J.J. Watt, for him to come back from what was supposed to be a season-ending injury was going to be on spot duty at best. Now, thank God Buda Baker's all right, because that injury looked pretty serious, him getting taken out on the stretcher. But the difference is that, like I said, young quarterback, coach who really didn't deserve to be a head coach, but it is what it is. That, you know, he didn't made it to the playoffs, so he's essentially for the most part has shut everybody up. They weren't gonna get, you know, the only reason why people are coming at the Arizona Cardinals' neck today is because Kyler Murray played so awful. But he's gonna get given a pass for that because this was his first playoff game. And I understand the big names that you're saying that they picked up, but the Rams, to pick up Von Miller mid-season, to pick up Odell Beckham mid-season, and them to be totally healthy, that's why I say that Matthew Stafford had more pressure on him even than Dak Prescott. Because, yeah, Dak Prescott is making $75 million for the year. He's won a playoff game. Matt Stafford hadn't even done that. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? At least he's won a playoff game, and he beat a Super Bowl champion to win that playoff game. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford hadn't even done that. You know what I'm saying? Matt Stafford now, okay, he's lost in his 3 previous playoff games. He lost to Breeze, Super Bowl champion, Romo, not so much, and then Russell Wilson, Super Bowl champion. And the fact that you traded the farm to get Stafford, you traded the farm to get Von Miller, and then you lucked up on getting Odell. You ain't paid nothing to get him. But the fact is that they are, for one, they're Los Angeles, they're Hollywood, they're getting big stars. But they are clearly showing you that while everybody's talking about for Cowboys is a Super Bowl or bust, no, it's Super Bowl or bust for the Rams. Because
in LA, the Raiders are LA. The Raiders will forever be LA. The Rams, like, they get out. The Raiders and the Cowboys playing against the Rams, their fans were outnumbered. The Rams fans were outnumbered in both of them situations. They always gonna be because of logistics.
Well, yeah, well, absolutely. But what I'm saying is that because one, it's Super Bowl or bust because Von Miller's a free agent next year. Odell Beckham's a free agent next year. So you're clearly, now they may come back, but you clearly got them this season knowing that they could very well just be rentals to get the ultimate job done. So they could not be one and done. I mean, it just, like I said, everybody's going to clown Dallas for losing because it's Dallas. And like I said, Jerry Jones, the one coming out saying, oh, yeah, it's Super Bowl or bust. Okay, whatever. You put that target on your team's back, you're going to see the backlash when you lose. But the Rams, they put the target on their back the minute they traded Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford. Like I said, if Jared Goff hadn't gotten them to a Super Bowl 3 years ago, no one would give a fuck about the trade. But you traded a quarterback that got you to the Super Bowl for a quarterback that never won a playoff game. You know what I'm saying? You traded the farm for that. So yes, nobody gives a damn that the Cardinals lost. Nobody cares. Because it's not like, because they started 7-0 and the second half of the season, they were floundering. The only team they beat of note in the second half of the season was y'all. That's it. They lost to Detroit, goddammit. You know what I mean? So nobody cares that the Cardinals lost. It was just a good matchup. Division matchup. Both teams had won on the other team's home field, so that made it of note. But no, the Rams, it was paramount for the Rams to win that game. They had to. They really, really had to. I mean, oh my God. Can you imagine what would be said about Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford today if they had lost last night? I mean, you thought it was bad on Dallas. Oh, you know, it's bad on Dallas because a lot of people, myself included, trolls Cowboy fans. But on all seriousness, you know how bad it would have been for the Rams had they lost last night? It'll be.
I mean, that specter is going to loom over them because without actually saying it, like you said, they're going Super Bowl or bust.
Yes.
So, I mean...
But you don't have to say it when you get two superstar players who are going to be free agents next year. You don't have to say it's Super Bowl bust. Your actions are proving that already. Your actions are proving that. And now, and then on top of that, now you got a running game. Cam Akers is back. Sony Michel, previous to that for the last month.
You do realize that was a question that was asked by a media person to Jerry Jones. What is his expectation?
Oh, yeah, I know.
He said, based on the talent we have on the roster, to me, it's Super Bowl or bust.
I know that.
That's an accurate statement.
It was an accurate statement. I don't disagree.
It's an accurate statement. And his post-game statement was equally accurate when he basically said, he didn't say heads will roll, but he said there's going to be some significant changes.
I don't, look.
What it is, I don't know.
I don't disagree that the statement was accurate. But what I'm saying is that, you know, Jerry Jones had to say, I mean, because people were going to say that anyway, because like you said, based on the talent of the team and what the players are making. But the Rams didn't have to say anything as far as is it Super Bowl or bust. Their actions showed that obviously it's Super Bowl or bust. Obviously. Because they're doing what they did 3 years ago, the year they went to the Super Bowl. You know, they're getting star power because we want to win now. Fuck what happens in the offseason. Like, the Rams don't have no draft picks until like 2027. You know, so clearly it's Super Bowl or bust for them. But let's get in these picks for next week. Oh, but hold on. Before we do that, outside of the Cowboys game, you just told me about the Rams. What was your take on the rest of the playoff weekend?
My take is the real news, not the hater news, but the real news. What happened to a Belichick coach team? That's never happened.
Oh my God.
That's the real news. Like, I mean, I understand young quarterback and all of this stuff, but they had a really good defense, and the quarterback don't play D, and those amount of points never been put up against a Belichick coach team. So, to me, that's news. The Buffalo Bills, they have to be looked at as a team that could knock off Kansas City. We know they can.
Oh, that's gonna be a heavyweight fight. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How about them Cincinnati Bengals ending that curse of Bo Jackson?
I mean, that was to be expected, though.
I gave my hat off early in the show to the Raiders because that game was pretty much a microcosm of their season. You know, you think they're down, you think they're out, but they made a fight of it. Because if you actually watched that, I don't know if you actually watched that game.
I did.
And you would have sworn out that everything that Cincinnati did right, outside of the referees effing up, that Cincinnati would have been up 2-3 touchdowns. But at halftime, they were just down 7. And the game came down to the final seconds. So I gave a shout out to the Raiders, but boy, them kitty cats turning into some, them kitties are turning into some grown ass tigers. They're gonna be something to deal with.
Yeah, I would say that, but they won't be an easy out. But based on what I saw on between Buffalo and Kansas City, that's probably what is going to end up in the AFC Championship.
No. You know why? Because Buffalo and Kansas City play this weekend.
Oh, that's right. They do.
So now, with that being said, let's get to these picks, homeboy. Saturday's game at 4:30. Bengals at Titans. Who you got?
I'm gonna take them Titans.
You know, I've been thinking for the last 3 weeks, ever since I knew the Titans were pretty much gonna clinch home field throughout the AFC. Excuse me. I was saying, damn, they probably gonna end up going to the Super Bowl. But the Bengals are a bad matchup. I'm going with Cincinnati. I'm going with Burrow and them boys. The next game, Saturday night, 8:15, the 49ers at the Packers.
Niners is going on.
Think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I know that the Packers are weak against the run, and that I do know. But I also think that week of rest, and the 49ers being kind of beat up too. Yeah.
That's where I agree with you on. I don't think the week of rest means anything because it's nothing like playing a hot football team. And the Niners right now are a hot football team, but with Warner being questionable, a game-time decision, with Bosa being a game-time decision because of the concussion, Garoppolo, now the shoulder is an issue. Now the one advantage is, like you said, the Niners can run it down their throat because Green Bay is susceptible to the run. But with those question marks, now I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I knew for sure that Bosa and Warner were gonna play, and I don't know if the Jimmy G shoulder injury makes that much of a difference to me, because I mean he proves in the fourth quarter, Lord, he can't be trusted. But if Warner and Bosa I knew were a full go, I would probably pick the 49ers. Because the run game travels in any type of weather. And the Niners are a cold weather team who happens to play in the West Coast. But for those reasons, I got to go with Green Bay. So I do agree with you. Sunday's games, Rams at the Buccaneers.
I'm going to take the Rams. Brady is Brady, but they got too many. They too are kind of beat up, and I don't think they can put up enough offense to keep up the run. I think the Tampa defense can keep them in the game, but I just don't think they can put up enough points.
Ooh, we agree again. And I hope the Rams beat the shit out of the Buccaneers. I really do, and not because I have.
Here's the big old but though. I would say for those that like to do the Vegas thing, take the under.
Oh yeah, right, right.
I don't think it's going to be a track meet.
No, I don't either. But I think the Rams are going to win. I do, and plus Tom Brady's worst nightmare is on the other side of him this game. You know who that is. I just gave it away by accident. That's Von Miller.
Well, yeah.
And a lineman who would be guarding him is hurt.
Huh?
And the lineman who was supposed to be lining up to Von Miller, Worth, he's hurt.
Worth and
the backup is hurt too.
Fournette.
Well, Fournette will probably play. You know, I think Fournette and Rojo will play, but I don't think it'll make a difference. I think the Rams are going to win. And the Sunday night game, 6:30, Bills at Chiefs, the heavyweight fight.
I'm taking the Bills.
You taking the Bills?
I'm taking the Bills.
Well, I call Kansas City.
I think it's the interesting thing there, and I think Josh will end up having far more. But them quarterbacks, how many rushing yards them dudes have? Because that's what it's gonna come down to. Buying time, rolling out, get the first down with legs. Kansas City defense has been playing better, but I do not think they got anybody to deal with Diggs. I just don't. On the flip side, KC, it's all about speed, but Buffalo's front can move Patrick Mahomes off that spot, so I'm taking the Bills.
I call Kansas City to get to the Super Bowl, so I got to stick with them. And it just sucks that this is a divisional game, not an AFC championship game. It just really does, because the way that those two teams perform, simply annihilating their opponents, it seems like a matchup fit for an AFC championship game. But you're going with Buffalo. I'm going with Kansas City. And you make points to make me want to go with Buffalo. And Buffalo had already came to Arrowhead and beat the shit out of them early in the season. So it's not like you don't have that on your side as well. You're worried about Diggs. I wouldn't be worried about Diggs because he's the number one option. He's going to be your level of concern. I would be worried about Emmanuel Sanders if I was Kansas City. I'll be worried about Emmanuel Sanders and Dawson Knox.
That's tight end.
Yes.
And to a lesser degree, Beasley.
Yeah. No, but honestly, not even Beasley. Because ever since Beasley got hurt, have you noticed how much they've gotten Isaiah McKenzie involved in the offense?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Those are the guys I did, honestly, because, you do what you got to do against Diggs, of course. Number ones draw that attention. But, yeah, I would be worried about Emmanuel Sanders, Dawson Knox, Beasley to a less degree, but McKenzie too.
But you got to have Singletary to keep them honest.
And remember, I told you this 2 weeks ago. I said, have you noticed that Buffalo has started running the ball? I told you this 2 weeks ago. So, yeah. Singletary and Zach Moss is going to have to keep them honest. But that's going to be a slugfest. Boy, I'm so glad I'm going to be at home for that game. Woo! I'm going to be at home for that game and the 49ers and Packers game Saturday night. I should be off work by then. I'm probably going to miss the Bengals and the Titans. I'm going to have to listen to that on YouTube while I'm driving that Amazon truck. That's what I did for the Bengals game versus the Raiders. But I'll DVR it. But boy. Yes. It is about that time, brother man. Now, boy, did you see that Russell Westbrook dunk on Rudy Gobert yesterday?
I did. That's maybe Russ's play for the year.
Yeah. Because every time the Lakers have a spark, they say, well, that's going to be the play to turn around. Now, let me make this clear to my listening audience. I am a diehard, born and bred Los Angeles Lakers fan. Los Angeles Lakers fan, okay? I mean, my favorite player of all time is Magic Johnson, and I wasn't even alive for his whole career. But I bleed purple and gold when you talk to basketball. But one thing I am is an objective and realistic fan. And this team that we have, if you look at their record, that's what they are. It's more than halfway through the season now, and this is what they are. They'll have their highlight plays. I guarantee you when the trade deadline comes, some shit is going to go down. Floor is yours.
I don't know what they could trade. The problem seems to be Westbrook, and I don't know that anybody's going to give them anything of value.
We have. Honestly, I say the trade deadline things are going to go down. We don't have anything we can trade because we ain't got no damn money. We ain't got no damn money. And nobody's taking Westbrook's contract, like you said.
Yeah, I don't foresee any changes for them. That was a good win, against Utah, but I think that was the one-off. I think Utah played bad more than the Lakers played good.
But now, paying attention to this ball now, I'm not just going to focus on Chicago, because Chicago's going on a bit of a slide.
Well, everybody's going on a slide, because how long is Kevin Durant out?
That's what I was just getting ready to get to. What do you think of Kevin Durant?
I think between COVID and injury, we don't really know what these teams are. We know they're good, but we don't know what they are because teams like Atlanta are hard hit by COVID.
Yeah, this year's been a shit show.
The Sixers situation is still fluid with Ben Simmons, and doesn't seem there's any end in sight. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what to make. I just know in the West, certain things are obvious. Golden State is stacked.
They're struggling.
So they got enough and struggling,
Phoenix, yes. Phoenix, yes. Memphis. You see Memphis. They're like that hard-headed young team that doesn't realize they're not supposed to be this good this quick.
Yeah, so I don't know what to make of it this season just yet.
And that's been the sucky part.
I feel like certain teams are locked to be playoff teams, but who ultimately comes out of there, I don't know.
That's the sucky part, because the NBA season has just been a shit show for COVID. It really has. I mean, you have these multiple players on their third 10-day contract and stuff like that. We got big 3 players back in the NBA. And it's just, I don't really know. That's why I don't talk about the NBA more, because I don't know what to make of it. You know, I respect Kyrie. I mean, I don't agree with Kyrie Irving's position, but I respect it more because he's been honest. And I look at Aaron Rodgers and Antonio Brown, and Kyrie hasn't wavered off of his stance.
I just read the interview from yesterday with Kyrie, and that was some of the most nonsensical, running the media in a circle answers I've ever heard. Like, he said all that, but said nothing. You know, that he is conscious of the effect of COVID and all these people dying and the need for vaccination, and I'm just trying to feed my family and blah. Oh, he said all of that stuff, and they came back down to the original question that he never answered. So, are you considering now getting vaccinated? And he still never answered it.
No, I don't know if you saw the rest of it. He said
the world being flat again.
No, because he said my stance is my stance, and I'm not wavering on that. He said you're asking me about basketball questions, and you're asking me about out of basketball questions. Now, what I don't think he's realizing, you know, or at least is not acknowledging, is that the only reason why people are asking him those questions is because he plays basketball. Like, if Kyrie Irving wasn't a basketball player and a great basketball player, nobody would give a damn if he was vaccinated or not. That's the part that I don't think that he is totally realizing. But he did answer. He said, again, when they asked him about Kevin Durant's injury, and they asked, would he be vaccinated so he would not have to be a part-time player, he said, no, he's not going to get vaccinated.
Taking into context everything else he said, and if you didn't know it was Kyrie Irving talking, you would assume it was a person that had been vaccinated.
Yeah, but you know what's going to happen?
It was a person. Everything that he said was something that a person that was vaccinated would say, in terms of being, you know, health conscious, in terms of family, in terms of, you know, acknowledging the effect of the pandemic on the country. All of these things, and they ended off with, yeah, but you know what? I'm still not going to get vaccinated because it don't even matter.
But do you know why he's not going to get vaccinated? And I said this 2 shows ago when he first came back. I said, I guarantee you by the end of the league, he will be playing home games, because now, I don't know if you've heard, I'm pretty sure you've heard, over the last week, there will be a fine that the Nets would have to pay if he plays unvaccinated. They're going to pick that fine up. He will, especially now that Kevin Durant is hurt. He will be playing in Brooklyn, in the Barclays Center. The Nets will pay that fine. Now, whether they take it out of Kyrie's check, we probably will never know that. But he will be playing home games. Don't get that twisted. Because like I said, now that KD is out for a minimum a month, oh yeah, they're going to pay that fine. Because the end result is they still want to win a championship. I still think the Bucks are going to win. I think they're going back to the finals. When I look at all things considered, I think the Bucks are going to end up going back to the finals. Because for one, the Nets' big 3 can't stay on the court long enough. Every time you get the 3 of them on the court, some bullshit happens. And it's mostly injury. But yeah, he'll be on the court in the Barclays Center soon. You just watch.
Yeah, well.
So, anyway, brother, I'm going to get my kids' dinner prepped. Like I said, I'm in the new digs. Hey, you got to come holler at your boy, man.
Still down there in Guttersburg.
You know what? I'm weak. I'm off of Staples Mill. I'm weak.
I was born in Gary, Indiana. If it's a gutter, it's a gutter. And it's always been a gutter, but it's a
Hold on, you from Michael Jacksonville?
Yeah, my aunts and uncles actually went to school with him. Actually, I went to the same high school as the older ones, graduated from the same high school as the older ones. And Mike's funeral, my uncle is still really good friend. He stays out in Inglewood, and he's still really good friends with Jackie, and he sent me obituary.
Oh, that's dope. Well, not dope given the circumstances, but that's amazing.
But yeah, everybody from some. In fact, whatchamacallit was just there. Janet and I think Jackie were just there at the high school at Roosevelt trying to get it preserved because they want to, destroy it like a lot of these old high schools.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And they came there and did a little photo op thing and lobbied to keep it there because the high school is literally right around the corner from 2300 Jackson Street.
2300 Jackson Street.
It doesn't exist. I don't know. Most people don't know that though, but no, there's no such thing. That's not where they live. They lived at the corner, but their actual address was not 2300 Jackson Street. A little strange, but
just kill everybody's fantasy, won't you? No, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
I thought you was from Chi-Town. I didn't know you was from Gary, Indiana.
Well, Gary is, for lack of a better way to say it, joined with Chicago. It's like a suburb of Chicago, and I went back and forth between both because my family lived in both. So,
okay.
Gary, literally, the people from Chicago come across. You can come across on a boat, or you can just, you can drive 15, 20 minutes, and you're right there on Gary's beach.
So let me ask you something.
See the people on standing at the shore in Chicago from Gary.
So let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you move to Chicago?
When I was 4.
Okay. So how did somebody
and stayed for 7 years, and then came back to Gary, and then went back. Yeah.
So let me ask you something. How does somebody who's born in Gary, Indiana, lived in Chicago, come back to Indiana, somebody who's between Chicago and Indiana, where they got the Colts and the Bears?
Because the Colts, Indianapolis is like 2.5 hours. It's not close to Gary.
What does that have to do with anything?
Indianapolis is close to the southern Indiana, which is Klan country.
Okay.
But, it is.
Okay.
Well, I know going to school down there, so went to college down there. So, yeah, I know I made that trip, man. I got an aunt, and actually my wife's niece is moving to Indianapolis. So it's a whole different region. The local television for Gary and Chicago is Chicago. Gary doesn't have any local channel. It's the same thing as Petersburg. Actually, Gary is closer to Chicago than Petersburg is to Richmond.
Oh, wow. Damn.
It just depends on how you go about getting there, but yeah, it's closer. In terms of why I am a Bulls fan.
No, I understand why you're a Bulls fan. I can get that.
Versus a Bears fan.
I can understand why you're a Bulls fan. I get that.
Well, growing up, I went to Soldier Field. I saw the Bears play. The Bears at the time I was coming up, there was no Walter Payton yet. There was no Super Bowl shuffle yet. It was literally 3 yards in a cloud of dust Bears. I missed the Gale Sayers era, so I didn't get that. Dick Butkus era, I missed all that. And I was born before Walter Payton got there. So as a 7-year-old, the Bears were not flashy. The Bears were not a team you I want to be like him, because all they did was 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I wasn't even really into football at age 7. But my mother, we went to Wisconsin Dells on a little vacation. And we went to a football game there at Lambeau Field. And I got me some cheese curds. I remember it like it was yesterday. Got me some cheese curds and a Coke. And I remember the Coke that I was, what did I say? I said something to my mama about the Coke and Mean Joe Green. Because
the commercial? Yeah.
The commercials.
Yeah.
So, and those Green Bay Packers, the G-Men, that's what I call them, the G-Men, because I'm 7. We're playing the Star Men. And after the game, we went to the concession stand, the little souvenir stand, and my mother asked me, do you want to get something? I started to get this light thing or whatever that glows and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I said, that looks like a cool lunchbox. I want that. And it was a Roger Staubach lunchbox.
Boy, did your eyes deceive you when you were 7.
And Now they didn't, because them same star men went on and win the Super Bowl. But I got that lunchbox, and so Christmas came around, and my mother bought me a winter coat. Well, winter time was coming around. She took me to not J.C. Penney's, Montgomery Ward's. I don't even know if you know what that is.
I sure don't.
It was
I'm an 80s baby.
Biggest chain department store out there. Like, it was bigger than J.C. Penney's at the time. It was right up there with Sears.
Okay. See, I'm an 80s baby. See, I've heard of Woolworth, Tallheimers. My grandmother was a seamstress, so I did, indirectly keep that muscle memory. But okay. And
so she bought me a jacket, a coat, Cowboys coat, and that's when I took an interest and started watching them on TV. Said something to my grandfather about him. My grandfather was a Bears fan and a Cubs fan. He loved the Cubs more so than football. I couldn't do it, but that's how I know Ryan Sandberg and Lee Smith and all those guys.
What an awful time to be a Cubs fan.
God. Hey, but I'll be honest, I used to live for one moment during the Cubs games, and there was a crazy reason why. I used to love for Harry Carey to stand up, take me out to the because that meant the game was damn near over, and I could watch Speed Racer and Family and whatever else I wanted to, Courtship of Eddie's Father.
Yeah,
I wanted to watch. What's happening, all of that. So I would sit there with him at the end of the game just for that reason, to try to make sure I could get the TV as soon as he was done with it, because otherwise, somebody else going to come in there and
snatch it. Yeah.
So, but that's how I became a Cowboy fan, and because I'm like a student of the game just in general, and lore and history and blah, blah, blah. Shoot, by 11, 12, I already knew who Don Meredith was. It just took, me to get old enough to put the 2 and 2 and research into, okay, so he's a Cowboy, and yada, yada, yada. Because I was looking at him on Monday Night Football anyway.
Okay.
At that time, he was a commentator on Monday Night Football.
All right. Well, I just needed to know where the mistake happened. That's all I needed to know.
And Tony Dorsett, all the people, it was extremely traumatizing for me at age, 12, 11, whatever, however I was when Tony Dorsett left.
Oh, yeah. And his son, Anthony, never had the career that people thought he was going to have, but he was a safety. He was a pretty good safety, I thought. He was on the Titans' 99 Super Bowl team, 1 yard short.
And then fast forward, you have to, sometimes the game is the game, but there's always an element of luck to the game, and you don't know where that luck is going to jump in and change a franchise's fortunes, because that same bit of luck, the next decade in the 80s, that same bit of luck made the 49ers.
That's true. Joe Montana tries to throw it out of bounds. Dwight Clark snatches it, and it's called
if
the
he
catch.
Doesn't, Dallas goes to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And Danny White's legacy is a little different.
Yep, that's true. And they probably beat the Bengals. This was before my time. I wasn't born yet, but being a football historian, the sports historian I am, of course, I know the full story. But anyway, brother, let me prep these kids food, and hey, man, next week, playoff some more.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right,
brother.
Talk to you then.
Hey, save my phone number, save my house number, okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it as soon as we get off.
All right, cool.
All
right. My man Tony, keeping it real as always. But you know what? We will be watching the playoffs next week, and that does not include his Dallas Cowboys. Which makes the playoffs all the more sweeter. So with that being said, before I say where the buzzer, shout out the Georgia Bulldogs for winning the college football national championship, beating Alabama. Shout out to him. Shout out to Stetson Bennett. Shout out to that awesome Georgia defense. Maybe you guys might think, he hates against greatness. I don't hate against greatness. I just get tired of the same rinse and repeat all the damn time. That's all. And I'm happy that Georgia won. First time winning a title since 1980. And 1980 or 1981, one of them two. But yeah, definitely shout out to the Bulldogs. Now, with that being said, with a buzzer. Oh my goodness, this is the first Sports Plus Life episode from my new spot. And gee whiz, I have to say that since I started Sports Plus Life in 2018, I've moved more frequently than I wanted to. Why didn't I start Sports Plus Life in 2011 when I was at the same residence for 7 years? But this is a plan towards an ultimate plan, and I know God has my back because I definitely have the faith. And once again, if you don't have happiness in your life, you ain't got nothing. If you don't have faith in your life, you don't have nothing. I'm serious. Ain't nothing like it. Ain't no feeling like it. So, with that being said, again, like I said earlier, just please, just be happy. You know, whatever's going on in your life, if you're dealing with individuals in your life who are draining your energy, not bringing you happiness, and you find yourself going backwards or more or less staying in the same place for a number of years, and you're frustrated, they're frustrated, you know what? Sometimes it might be time to make a change just for your own sanity. And, you know, honestly, just for your own sanity and your own happiness, because in life, if you don't have happiness, you don't have nothing. If you don't have peace of mind, you don't have nothing. You know, a lot of people, unfortunately, are satisfied with being content. And I'm going to be real with you. You know, even if you're like you'll say, okay, you look at a person's situation and they may have a beautiful house and a beautiful neighborhood, beautiful car, but they're unsatisfied with their life. But they're satisfied with being content because they're like, well, I probably won't get it better than this. But if you're just content and you know that there's more that you're looking for, whether that leads you to a better living situation or a worse situation, if you know that there's more that you can offer or that you want to offer, but you're not going to do it because you're afraid of your situation, then you ain't being true to yourself. Then you're not being true to yourself. So, you know, and a lot of that stuff is tricky. You know, a lot of that stuff is very tricky. But again, I love everybody. And honestly, I just want everybody to be happy and have a peace of mind. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm happy. I'm going to have a peace of mind. Life is going to happen. Life will continue to happen. There definitely more hurdles and obstacles that I'm going to face in my life that you're going to face in your life. But you know what? We stand up to them. We battle through them and we move forward. And definitely hit that subscription button and become part of the Sports Plus Life family. And it's your boy, Brandon Brevon Towns. This has been another episode of Sports Plus Life. I love the hell out of everybody. I really do. I'll be singing on here again soon enough. Okay? You feel me? So listen, I'm out this bit. Peace. Again, love you. Mwah!